And we're live. Hello and welcome to the Football Podcast for Wednesday, the 7th of October, 2020. I'm joined as always by Sir Adam Galal to discuss the hottest stories surrounding the footballing world.
Hello, Theo. It is a pleasure to be here. And without further ado, let us commence this podcast.
Indeed, in today's edition of the Football Podcast, we will be covering everything from Champions League, the Champions League draw, and results from Premier League games, many high-scoring games and surprises there, but we'll get into that later.
But before we continue, if you are enjoying our content, we would really appreciate a like, subscribe, and if you could turn on your notification bell, it will only help you to never miss when we post, and it would be great for us as well. But that takes us on to our Champions League draw. I think we should do one group at a time, Theo. I'll start, and we can analyze. So in Group A, we have Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, and RB Leipzig. What do you think of that one, Theo?
Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, RB Leipzig, Lokomotiv Moscow. That is a very interesting group, a really competitive group to start off the campaign, Group A, in the draw. We have our former champions, Bayern Munich. We have Atletico Madrid and RB Leipzig, which was the semi-final or quarterfinal in the Champions League, I believe. That was a really exciting game. Tyler Adams getting the winner there. So two really competitive teams in there, plus the returning champions looking to defend their title. And then Lokomotiv Moscow looking to, secure a European qualification in the Europa League. Third place, possibly. We'll have to see from there. Adam, your thoughts on Group A before we move on to Group B?
Well, this is, you'll see in later groups, but I feel that this year, there's the infamous and heavily used phrase, the group of death. If there ever was one this year, I think it would be Group A, but there are also other contenders, which we'll get on to. You're saying that Lokomotiv Moscow will be trying to secure a Europa League spot. Honestly, with Leipzig, Atletico Madrid, and Bayern Munich, I can't see them securing a European spot, unfortunately. They've been a bit unlucky this year with that draw. There's some really, really strong teams in the mix of that. I think, obviously, Bayern won it. Leipzig made it to the semis, if I'm not mistaken. And Atletico Madrid made it to the quarterfinals to get knocked out by Leipzig, I think. Am I right?
Yes, I do believe you are right. And we will move on to Group B, which is Borussia Mönchengladbach, who secured a Champions League spot in Germany, and that league is becoming much more competitive, so we can expect anything from them. They've got a very strong squad, so not to be underestimated by any stretch. Inter Milan, we know all about them from their Europa League final. Very talented team, very unlucky to lose to Sevilla. Real Madrid, of course, can't miss them. And Shakhtar Donetsk, who are probably the best of the rest, really, in terms of their talent. They produced Willian, 2012. They produced Fred. They've got some really good talent in there. Again, they'll be looking to secure that third place. Though, again, with this kind of group, it will be very difficult.
Yup. Shakhtar Donetsk, you're right. They have produced some great talent throughout the years. I'm sure there are some hidden starlets that will show themselves during the Champions League group stages. You never know. They could do an Atalanta this season. We have seen weaknesses in all three of the sides they're up against, that some young, exciting, strong, fast, talented players would be able to exploit, especially in the style that both Real Madrid and to some extent Inter Milan play. I think they could be exploited by Shakhtar Donetsk. And that takes us on to Group C with Manchester City. They'll be facing Olympiacos, Marseille, and Porto. What are you thinking about this group here?
Yeah, so we got second place in the Premier League, Manchester City. Of course, we know all about them. Super talented team. So, I mean, I would expect them, in case of any slip up, to finish first. Here, second place, though, we're looking for a team that may have a surprise run in the knockouts because no properly established team in the competition I can see coming second. Porto, success in Portugal, Marseille, creeping in the French league, and Olympiacos, of course, one of the best teams out there in Greece. And they impressed against the likes of Tottenham, so we know all about them as well. I would see Marseille probably coming second in the group. Adam?
You know what? I think that Porto actually might come second here. They've shown some really promising signs. They've consistently been playing amongst the big teams. They have been drawn quite a few years in a row now against teams who do go on to do well. 2 years in a row, they were drawn and frankly battered by a really informed Liverpool side. That was in the 17-18 season and 18-19 season. Both years in which Liverpool made it to the final. But they are really a dark horse because they're always up there among some of the great teams in the quarterfinals. They were there, and they've been quite consistent. And so I would actually back them to make it to the knockouts again. But that takes us on to Group D, which we're speaking about. Liverpool does contain Liverpool. And it has Ajax, Atalanta, and excuse me for this presentation. This pronunciation. FC Midtjylland. I might have butchered that, but I'm sorry about that if any of you listeners are supporters of that team. And Liverpool, of course. How do you think this group is going to play out?
Yeah, Ajax, champions in the Netherlands. Atalanta did super well in the knockouts of the Champions League last season. Liverpool, of course, not as well, but former champions very recently. So I expect them to finish top. I think Atalanta will come second. Ajax, obviously, without Hakim Ziyech now. So I would expect them to finish third, probably. Unfortunately, yeah, I'm probably gonna butcher this one as well. FC Midtjylland. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that one. But Danish team. And well, this is their opportunity on the big stage to try and show up one of the big giants of Europe. But we do move on to Group E, which includes Chelsea, Sevilla, Russian debutants Krasnodar, and Stade Rennais. Adam?
Well, look, I think this group on paper would be a walk in the park. For Chelsea and Sevilla would be the obvious runners-up. If you asked someone who has not been following football as attentively recently. But, I think that Sevilla might be in for. I think regardless, Chelsea will come first, or they'll comfortably qualify. But I think the second place slot is actually very much up in the air. I don't know what will happen. There's only one way to find out. Because I think that both Rene and Krasnodar will put up a good fight for that to really establish themselves on the European stage. It is a very lucrative competition, so another incentive for that. But yeah, I think that will be a tight second place. But that takes us on to Group F with Dortmund, Bruges, Club Bruges, Lazio, and Zenit St. Petersburg. What do you think, Theo?
Yeah, that's Group F: Dortmund, Club Bruges of Belgium, Lazio, Italy, and Zenit St. Petersburg. Interesting one actually. Again, we know who's finishing first in this one, unless some crazy surprises come our way during the Champions League group stage. We think Dortmund obviously will get this spot. They've been doing super well recently. Their new signings never really disappoint. Very good with their business. Erling Haaland is improving by the hour. I think they're really well-rounded team, so I don't see them slipping up here. A very consistent side. Club Bruges, Lazio, I don't see Zenit St. Petersburg getting a look in at the top two here. I'd probably give it to Lazio here. So, yeah, I think Lazio and Dortmund favorites to go through in that one. And we do move on to Group G, the final group. And this also caught the eye with the amount of competition here. We had PSG here, so there's nothing wrong with our audio. This is a legit group. Group G: PSG, Manchester United, RB Leipzig, and team from Turkey, debutants in the competition, I believe, as well. I'm gonna take this one slowly as well. I might butcher it. Here we go. Baza Kasehir. Yeah.
I think that the audience will know exactly who you're talking about. Just the spelling: Baskashehir with accents on the S's. You may need to search that one up. But
Yeah.
I think that I was talking about the group of death in Group A. This is very much a solid competitor. RB Leipzig, if anything, overperformed last year. They made it to the semi-finals to get knocked out at the mercy of Bayern Munich. PSG would have faced them in the final had they overcome their German counterparts. And then you have Manchester United, who didn't have a great weekend, as you will find out, but are always competitors. And as for Basaksehir, I think that they may be a surprise, like Atalanta were this season. But there's only one way to find out, as I've said. That takes us on to Premier League results, though, with Chelsea beating Crystal Palace 1-0, Everton beating Brighton 4-2. They're on a good streak. They're in first place. Leeds 1, Manchester City 1, Newcastle 3, Burnley 1, West Ham 3, Leicester 0, Southampton 2, West Brom 0, Fulham 0, Wolves 2, 1. And these two plus results will be a shocker for fans of clubs in the Northwest. Manchester United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 6, and Aston Villa 7, Liverpool 2. Are there any particular games that you wish to analyze, Theo?
Yeah, I'll start with my club first. Ben Chilwell, Premier League debut for the club. At Stamford Bridge, and he netted the opener. Crystal Palace were resolute. They really were in the first half. But they got the break for Chelsea, and the floodgates began to open. Ben Chilwell getting an assist for Kurt Zuma, getting a second goal of the campaign, and then a dual penalty effort from Jorginho, making it 4 for the Blues. at Stamford Bridge. Everton now really looking like the team to beat at this stage in the competition, in the Premier League. And they won 4-1. This was a remarkable result. 4 goals, a few from James Rodriguez, I believe, one from Calvert-Lewin. So really looking solid. Though their medal will be tested in the Merseyside derby after the international break. So looking forward to that one. Then we had apparently one of the most intriguing tactical games of all time. Maybe a bit of a stretch, but hey, I actually didn't get to watch the whole game. I am very interested in the tactical side of football myself, and I may have to analyze that at a later date. But Leeds did get an equalizer after Raheem Sterling opened the scoring, and it was Rodrigo Moreno who got the Leeds equalizer. Very tactical, of course. Pep Guardiola facing against his idol, Marcelo Bielsa. Two tactical machines. Went head-to-head and it finished all square. Then we had Newcastle, Callum Wilson getting in on the act. And Burnley, who really did well last season, not really appearing to find their feet. So we're getting a lot of surprises in the Premier League, along with West Ham not only beating Wolves 4-0, that was a shocker. They beat Leicester 3-0. What is going on with West Ham? We thought they would finish 18th.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary. Just like Aston Villa, we thought they'd finish 20th. Well, they are finishing a lot higher than that at this stage in the Premier League after 3 games. For some clubs, 3, mainly 4. Dan Ings got a goal against West Brom in a 2-0 victory for Southampton, and they are going pretty well in the early stages. Danny Ings showing no signs of letting up after his very impressive goal-scoring streak last year. And then Pedro Neto getting the only goal between Wolves and Fulham, so Wolves getting 3 points there. And then here come the 2 rather crazy games, I guess. I guess you could say Tottenham Man U was decided by a very controversial red card. I guess if you want to send off Martial, you have to send off Lamela as well. Because in my opinion, when I watched the highlights, I was doing homework. When the game was happening, I just got a notification on my phone saying Martial had been sent off. And then obviously the goals just came flying in there. 6-1. Unbelievable. And Man United again just showing that despite all the hype surrounding them post-lockdown, there's still a lot of work to be done on the training ground, defensively and offensively. But I think it was a very dubious red card. Lamela, I think, giving him a slight forearm to the chin, and then Martial giving him a little bit of a gentle knuckle below the jawline. So I'm not really sure what the referee saw on the VAR, but I do not think it was a red card. Or if it was, Lamela should have given marching orders as well. And then Aston Villa versus Liverpool, final game of the weekend, and I turned on my phone. I got a notification of halftime, and I knew I had to watch the game when I saw that Ollie Watkins makes it 4, Aston Villa 4. What's that ring? 4. I mean, still sounds crazy. That even 1 or 2 sounds weird. But 4 at halftime and then 7. I watched the game, the Liverpool defending. I play defense. I'm a center back myself. And the Liverpool defending, I'm sorry, Adam, but it actually made me very sad, actually.
No apologies, Theo. It made me even more sad, despite you being a defender naturally. I'll painfully analyze some of the game. back line had huge gaps. Vision of Grealish to exploit, and it was frankly shambolic, for lack of better description. It was really poor. The back line was in tatters by 3-1. I think that Mohamed Salah put up a good fight. He scored 2 goals. So I'm sure people who have him in their fantasy squad won't mind about that. But that's really just a consolation. It was an all-round terrible performance. Some are defending Liverpool. I think that I don't know which pundit, but I recall someone blaming the length of the grass, other people blaming deflection. I think it was that, but also collectively, it was just a punctuation mark on a shambolic performance from Liverpool. And on that note, we will conclude our podcast. Theo, any last remarks?
None for me, but as Adam said at the beginning of our video, please do remember to like and subscribe and turn on those post notification bells so you know when we upload our next video. And apologies that we were unable to upload on the weekend or yesterday. We had some technical issues. We'll leave it at that there. So goodbye from Adam.
Goodbye.
And goodbye from me. Bye-bye, guys.